Hi guys, it's Paula and I hope you are doing well. This is going to be my fall Shop My Stash collab. I have been doing this for about 1.5 years now. Every 3 months I try to shop my stash for products that I am most interested in using during whatever that season is, depending on what my mood is and kind of what the vibes are of that season. I do tend to choose makeup products and nail polishes based on the season, although I don't think there's any rules to that. You can wear whatever colors you want, whatever day of the year it is, but I do tend to stick to the traditional fall vibes versus spring vibes kind of thing. I also try to collaborate with another YouTuber for every one of these videos, and I'm so excited to talk about the YouTuber that I am collaborating with for this episode. It seems weird to say the word episode, but for this video, and that is Shanrell from Shanrell's Stash. I will have her face right here. She is such an entertainer. If you're not already following her, I highly suggest you go check her out. I think you'll really enjoy her content. There are definitely a lot of similarities between our channels. So if you like my content, I think you'll definitely like what she has to offer. I will have her channel linked down below along with her Instagram account, so you could check her out for yourself. But yeah, she's a hoot. Her thumbnails can sometimes be hysterical. I will never forget when she put on this like spiked wig for her I don't know if it was an 80s themed video or a punk rock themed video, but she had a wig on. It was hysterical. She's also very beautiful. She always gives me some Allie Glines vibes. Like I feel like they could be sisters. They look a lot alike to me. So anyways, go check her out. I think you'll love her and see what she shopped her stash for this fall. She does do a monthly Shop My Stash. I believe it's monthly. And so yeah, she's a regular Shop My Stasher, but I only shop my stash quarterly. And I keep all of these products in a shoebox throughout the season, and I try to pull for these products either in Get Ready With Me's, or if I'm bringing new products into a project, I try to look at these products first because they are specifically curated for this season, which is fall. Happy fall, y'all. We are already like a week into this season, but you know, if we weren't running late, it wouldn't be one of my videos, would it? We will also be discussing our top 5 eyeshadow palettes for this season. I did try to pick out 5 palettes that were not the same as the 5 palettes I chose last year. So let's start with products for the face. I have been in the mood to shop my stash for foundations. I don't know if I'm going to need a new foundation over the next 3 months. There's a really good chance that the foundations I've been working on all year long will last me until the start of winter, but I am feeling such a strong urge to switch things up that I figured maybe shopping my stash for a couple of foundations will get it out of my system, and if I need to roll them into Project 10 uses or something, I can do that. So the first foundation is from MAC. This is the MAC Mineralized Moisture SPF 15 foundation. This is in the shade NC25, which I think is a pretty good match for me this time of year. It might be a little bit on the warm side. I think NC products are warm and NW products are cool. I could have that mixed up, but I think whatever you're thinking of for MAC, it's the opposite. And when I hold this bottle up to my skin, it does look like a very warm shade. Hopefully I can make it work. I'm realizing that a lot of the foundations I own are on the darker side. I'm thinking at some point I'm gonna have to buy a foundation that's really light to mix in with a lot of these foundations. But for now, I picked 2 of the lightest foundations I have. The other one is this Do You foundation from Too Faced. It's full coverage, which is not necessarily what I go for, but it's called a Fresh Glow foundation and it smells like watermelon, so that's why I bought it. Not because I like a full coverage foundation, but because I like foundations that smell like watermelon. So these are the 2 foundations I am bringing in for this season. Hopefully I'll get a chance to use them, but I might not. I don't know. I didn't bring in any setting powders or concealers or anything like that. So let's move on to bronzers. I've picked out 3 bronzers, and to be honest, they might have been in previous Shop My Stashes before. Bronzer is one of those categories that I actually have fewer of relative to other categories of my collection. So it wouldn't surprise me if I've cycled through my bronzer collection by now. But the first bronzer I chose is from Jane. I bought this at Kohl's a long, long time ago. It's just the Jane bronzing powder in the shade Dream. And it seems like a lighter bronzer shade, something that might work as my tan fades. Plus it's got a cute flower pattern. I also pulled this sample of Skinny Dip, the Skinny Dip from Bare Minerals. Again, it seems slightly on the lighter side. Like maybe I can get away with it as my tan fades. And then the third bronzer that I chose is one that I was panning in 2017. Was it 2017? 2018? I was panning this a long time ago, and I put it down at some point and I never picked it up, but I'm ready to get back to this and finish it off. And that is this deluxe sample of the Chocolate Soleil from Too Faced. I have like 3 of these maybe, but this one I put in a ton of work. There's no pan yet, but I was just getting to the point where I was starting to see some rings showing up at the bottom of the pan. Kind of. I don't feel like I can really see them now, but I did use this a ton in some year, and I'd like to get back to this and maybe hit pan on it. Okay, let's talk about highlighters. I did pull a couple of cream highlighters for this Shop My Stash. I am really close to finishing the cream highlighter that I'm currently working on, and I've already put another one in Project 10 Uses to try out, but I've pulled a couple more. One that I really want to get back to panning is possibly my oldest cream highlight, and that is the other half of this Almay Duo. It's just called the Almay Cheek Palette in Tempting Berry. This had a cream blush on this side, which I finished, I think, last year. And so all I have left is this half, which is a highlighter. There's a pretty good dip going on in there already. I would probably still have a long way to go before I finish this, but it's broken packaging. You guys know how I feel about that. I would love to use this up and get it out of my collection. The other cream highlight is from this e.l.f. palette. I panned an entire palette just like this of concealer shades that were dark that I used as a cream bronzer, but this is the highlighting palette. It has 4 different shades. One's a little pinkier, one's a little peachier, one's a little beigeier, and one's a little bit like a goldeny white. And I've used this before, but I haven't used it in a very long time. One of the reasons I'm kind of eyeing this is for points, obviously. Each one of these pans would give me a point towards my low buy bank. And if this is like most e.l.f. products, there's not a ton of product in each pan. e.l.f. notoriously kind of gives you some small amounts of product per pan. So I'm kind of eyeing this like, you know, each one of these counts as a point. I should really think about working on this next to get some points in my low buy bank. Plus the colors look nice. I think I would like it. So hopefully I can get around to playing around with these two during the season of fall, and finally choose a cream highlighter to commit to and pan now that I'm getting so close to finishing the one that I've been working on all year long. I did also choose 3 powder highlighters. First of all, I have MAC's Soft and Gentle. I purchased this a few years ago, and I really have not given it a whole lot of love. I think I've used it once, maybe twice, but that's about it, which is just a shame. I'm not in the market to shop my stash for a long-term highlighter yet. I'm still working on the same highlighter I've been working on for like 3 years, but you know, one day I will be able to pick a new highlighter from my stash to pan. These would probably just be used in Get Ready With Me's. This highlighter is another MAC highlight. It is from the Star Trek collection. This one's called Luna Luster. And I am a sucker for anything with this kind of a swirly pattern. I don't know if I've ever used this before. If I have used this before, I have no recollection of it. I mean, maybe. And then the last highlighter that I chose is a L'Oreal highlighter. This is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi highlighter. This packaging might look familiar. I have two of these. I think one was called Cool and one was called Warm. I can't remember exactly what they were called, but they are different. They look exactly the same. And the other one was in the experiment that year. Remember that year when I did the experiment? That was a rough year. Anyways, I have this one also, but I've never really used this one. And it just looks like a nice, I like the colors in it. I like the tones. Not too cool, not too warm. It looks like a good highlighter. Well, I don't want to call it a palette, but it looks like it would make a nice highlighter. And I haven't used it in, if ever, I haven't used it in a long, long time. I chose 4 blushes because I am a sucker for blush. I've been panning the same couple of blushes for the majority of the year and I'm getting a little sick of them. So I've definitely been craving some variety in my blush choices. And these are the 4 that are currently calling my name the most. First of all, I have a Tarte blush. This is in the shade Peaceful. This is the peachiest of the bunch. And so it's like a peachy pinky beige shade. I don't know how to describe that, but that's what it strikes me as. It's not peach, it's not pink, it's not beige, but I'd imagine if you had all 3 colors and dumped them into the same pot and mixed them up, this is what you'd get. Next, I have this Lorac shade. This is the Baked Matte Satin Blush in Velvet Rope. And it's kind of like a dusty mauve-y pink. Next is one of 2 Laura Geller blushes I've pulled. This is Pink Buttercream, probably kind of similar to the Lorac one. They're probably twinsies, but I probably don't need both of these in my Shop My Stash, but I'm going to keep them. This one looks like it's been used a lot. I don't remember using it a lot. Huh. And then the last blush I chose is this Laura Geller blush in Boysenberry. It's a blush and highlighter combo. So can you see this little pie slice right here? This is the highlighter in Amaretti. And then the rest of it is the blush in Boysenberry. I don't feel like I've used this one a whole lot either. I think I sent some of these to my mom to try out when she was needing a new blush and she was playing around with them because I didn't use them a whole lot. She must have decided that they weren't for her and gave them back to me. I think the one she ended up choosing is the Milani Romantic Rose, which is a beautiful blush. And there was a small part of me that wanted to run out and purchase a new one when she picked that one for herself. And then I was like, you're crazy. You cannot do that. You have like 300 blushes. You can't run out and buy a new blush. You can give one of your blushes to your mom. You'll be okay. So I'm okay. I didn't run out and replace it, but yeah, she's got my Milani Romantic Rose and she will probably pan the entire blush because it is the only blush she owns. But I gave her like 10 to try out and that was the one she picked. So that's probably why those other 2 are looking a little bit more loved. It was my mom. Okay. Is my hair okay? Hair check, hair check. All right, let's talk about my top 5 palettes for fall. I would like to dive into all of these as soon as possible. They're all just, as much as I hate fall because it means the death of summer. If you guys know me at all, you know that I love summer. Summer is my all-time favorite time of the year. I live for summer. I am counting the countdown. I have 9 months to go until summer is back again. But despite the fact that I am still mourning the loss of summer and I'm not happy that it's fall, I'll admit that I do love fall colors. They are just so inspiring and comforting and beautiful. Those cranberry shades, those kind of marsala shades, the greens, it's all so beautiful. And as I'm looking through these palettes, I'm just like, yes, get on my eyeballs. So in no particular order, I have my top 5 eyeshadow palettes that I've pulled for fall of 2022. Let's kick it off with one I've never used even once before. This is an untouched eyeshadow palette. This is the Makeup Forever Lustrous Shadow Palette. The outside looks like this. Anybody remember this? It's almost like squidgy on top. I'm guessing this was on sale at Sephora, and I was like, yes. I'm also guessing that Emily Noel raved about this in some video, and I was like, oh, I need that, because that's kind of what happens. But yeah, despite that, I don't think I've ever used this palette even once. I'll admit there's some shades in here that I'm not that attracted to, like these kind of brownie grays. Like maybe once I try them on, I'll fall in love with them. But the purples and this kind of red shade looks stunning. And I can't believe I've owned this palette for as many years as I have. And I've never even used it once. That's ridiculous. The next palette I know I've used at least once, but I don't feel like I've used a whole lot. And that is my Masterclass by Mario and ABH palette. I still remember purchasing this palette. I saw it online. Everybody was posting their palettes on Instagram. And I was talking with a couple of makeup friends at that time. One of them was Rainy, one of them was Whitney, and one of them was Canoe. And I was like, I don't know if I really like that palette. I don't know if I should get it. Do I need it? And they all had it. And they were like, yes, you need it. You will love it. And I was like, okay, I'll buy it. So I bought it, but I've never really used it. I mean, I've used it, but not a lot. That being said, I think this is a very fall palette. When I see it, I think fall, and I should use it. I should definitely use it. Next is a Too Faced palette, and it is my little peanut butter and jelly palette. I feel like maybe I've used this once, maybe. This is an underutilized palette in my collection. It is so cute and so fall. I really like it, but I haven't used it a whole lot. Next is another Too Faced palette. It's an oldie. It is called the Too Faced Passionately Pretty Eyeshadow Collection. This is a 15 shadow palette, and I think this is a very fall palette. I suppose I could use this palette year round, but a lot of the shades in this palette are very fall for me. And again, seriously underutilized within my collection. I mean, like maybe I've used this twice, if that. I don't feel like I've used this palette a whole lot at all. What am I putting on my eyeballs every day? I don't know. It's not any of these palettes. I could tell you that much. And then the final palette is from Juvia's Place. Again, I don't really remember ever using it. I believe Hazel has swatched it, but this is the Nubian 2. This was another, my Instagram friends made me buy it. Canoe and Lucy conned me into this one. I shouldn't say that. They didn't con me into anything. They were just like, Paula, you'd love it. You should get it. And I was like, okay. This was all obviously before I started my low buy, when I would buy whatever I wanted. But this is the inside of the palette. And I think you could see where Hazel's has swatched it at the bottom. That was baby Hazel that did that, not current Hazel. But I think one of the reasons why I haven't really used this much is that, I don't know, maybe I'm a little intimidated by these shades and these pan sizes. I don't know why I haven't used it. That's ridiculous. I should use it. Similar to, what palette was I saying? Oh, similar to the Pat McGrath palette. I do find that I don't have a lot of good transition shades in this palette, but that shouldn't stop me. I mean, I have a million palettes with transition shades. I don't need a palette with a transition shade. But yeah, I don't know why I haven't used this. But I don't think I've ever used this even once. And that's ridiculous. So I definitely think that if I'm able to hit pan on any one of my palettes and pan in every palette during the fall season, I will be rolling this palette into that project because I need to introduce myself to this palette finally. And this kind of bronzy, cool tone shade is definitely calling my name. But the green looks like it would be beautiful for fall too. And I would say this is a pretty fall blue. Not that I wear blue, but if I was, I would probably wear a color like that. It's a little bit more like of a tealy blue than a blue, and I like that. I don't know. I don't know why I bought it, and I don't know why I haven't used it. Okay, let's move on to lip products. I have a good handful or two that I've picked out. First of all, for lip glosses, I grabbed 3. I grabbed a Lorac lip gloss. I really like this line of lip glosses. This is the Lip Luster Cream. This is the shade Empress. And this feels like a very like cool toned brownie pink or mauvey brown, or it just looks like a good fall shade. I don't know if I've ever really worn this. I don't know. But it just looks like it would make for a, I don't think I've ever worn this. Still smells, these lip glosses smell amazing. But there it is right there. There's just a little swatch. Next I have more of a brownie shade. This is from Tarte. This is the shade Abracadabricot. 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 Oh my gosh, I cannot say it. Abracadabricot. That is harder than it seems. And I think this came in a holiday set many years ago. It's a little bit lighter than the Lorac shade and a little bit more of like a peanut buttery brown shade. And then the final lip gloss is from NYX. This is called Copper Penny, I believe. Yeah, this is called Copper Penny, and it has a little bit of a metallic finish, and it's got a lot of rosiness to it. And I do think it would just make for a really nice fall lip gloss. There are the 3 lip glosses right there. There's Copper Penny, Abracadabricot, and Empress from Lorac. I also shopped my lip crayon stash, and I pulled the 3 Marc Jacobs lip crayons that I got in a set, I think 2 years ago now. Last year? Whenever Marc Jacobs went out of business and all their makeup was 50% off, I picked these up, and these just look like really fall shades. First of all, I have Burn Notice. Oh, snap shut. Oh man, that swatches beautifully. I'll get closer in a second. That is gorgeous. Next, I have Night Mauves. And finally, I have Plum and Get It. And these just look like the falliest colors ever. Holy cow, they are gorgeous. There they are, right there. I normally don't go for browns, but if there's a time where I'm gonna rock a brown lipstick, it's going to be fall. And finally, I have my lipsticks. I have a bunch. Maybe too much, some might even say, but you know, I don't listen to those people. This is a really random assortment. First of all, I have the shade Tort from Bite Beauty. I don't remember owning this shade. I think it might have come in a holiday set several years ago, but it looks like a kind of a fall pink, a rosy muted pink, and I think it would look like a really pretty neutral pink shade. I also have Lolita from Kat Von D. This shade is one of those strange shades that look completely different on different people, but I feel like it looks really dark on me. And I'm always kind of shocked by how dark it looks on me. It doesn't look that dark in the swatch, but when I put it on my lips, I feel like it's a really dark lipstick and good for fall. Next, I have Touch of Spice from Maybelline, which looks almost identical to Lolita. That's interesting. They're twinsies. Touch of Spice might be a little bit more brown. This is Sultry Sienna from CoverGirl. If this is the same, I'm gonna walk out of the room. No, this is more, a little lighter, a little bit more. It's close. I think I have a type this season. This is an oldie, really old, a Revlon Color Stay in the shade Cocoa. Oh, wow. Look at that. Okay, I guess we know what I'm going to be wearing for the next 3 months. Brown. That one is a little bit more brown and a little bit less pink. This is Ulta Collab with Melissa Michelle in the shade Dainty. And I've had this for a long time and I've never really used it. And this is a matte lipstick. It's definitely more of a pinky nude, closer to the Marc Jacobs pink. But I think that would make for a nice lipstick for fall. And then I had to grab another bold berry shade. Despite the fact that I keep picking nude, 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 I really love, berry shades. Purpley berries, pinky berries, cranberries. I love these berry shades. This is an e.l.f. matte lip color in the shade Berry Sorbet, and it looks very bright. Okay, I'm gonna swatch it right next to the Marc Jacobs one. They're close. That's the e.l.f. Berry Sorbet, and that's the Marc Jacobs lip crayon. They're close. I'll admit it. And finally, I have a NYX Turned Up lipstick that's still wrapped up. Oh my gosh. This is the shade Flutter Kiss. I think this is another Emily Noel made me buy it. I mean, what in my collection wasn't influenced by Emily Noel? Not much. Okay, the wrapper is off. Here is the NYX one. Still smells really good. Obviously, it is brand spanking new. Oh my gosh. It is, oh my gosh. Look at it right next to the Marc Jacobs one. How did I do that? I just got twins all across the board. That is crazy. Hold on. Here's the Marc Jacobs one. Ugh, don't drop it, Paula. Look at that. This is the Marc Jacobs one. This is the NYX one. The Marc Jacobs one definitely looks pinker, but in the swatch, that's Marc Jacobs, that's NYX. They look identical. Oh. They look so similar. Maybe not identical, but they look so similar. That is crazy. Wow. I guess it's good to know, because even if I absolutely fall in love with this product, I can't purchase it. So I can't purchase this either. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but at least I have the two together. That is crazy. I can't believe that wow. Okay, the last part of this fall Shop My Stash is going to be my selection of nail polishes that I have picked out for the season. Some of you might find this a little bit ironic because I have picked a whole bunch. And let's face it, I have not been painting my nails that consistently at all, but I love fall nail polishes. I might like fall nail polishes more than any other season in the year. And I love spring nail polishes. I love pastels, but oh my gosh, there is something about fall nail polishes that just inspire me so much. And I have pulled a bunch. So hopefully I will actually paint my nails this season. We'll see. First of all, I have an off-white. I know white is not necessarily a color we associate with fall, but this color is a beautiful fall white. It is from Scofflaw Varnish, and it is the shade Fistful of Foxes. I recently ran across a picture I posted several years ago of me wearing this polish, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is just a perfect fall white or cream. I will throw up a picture of this so you can see how beautiful it is, but it's acrylic. It's got these beautiful like coppery flakes in it, and I just think it is amazing for fall. I've also pulled a fun little topper. This is from Sinful Colors, and it is a glow-in-the-dark topper with little bats floating around in it. Obviously, I'm thinking about this specifically for the month of October. I probably won't wear it too much before or after that, but I wanted to pull this out and maybe get a couple of manicures using this, like other polishes that have big chunks of something floating in them. It is hard to pull out the bats. They float in there, but you never seem to get one on the brush. So, you know, it is a tricky polish to work with, but yeah, if you can get a bat out, you got a total score, and then you have an awesome glow-in-the-dark nail polish, so that's fun. I got that at, I think, a Meijer store several years ago. I also pulled a couple of grays, again, fall gray. It's just when I want to wear these shades. First of all, I have this KL polish in the shade Graham. And then I have the Sally Hansen polish in the shade Commander in Chic. So they're both grays, but Graham is a little bit cooler and Commander in Chic is a little bit warmer. But they're both really nice grays. I'm not the biggest fan of a red nail polish, but I love a deep wine shade. I really like deep reds, like deep dark blood reds, and for this season I pulled an old Milani polish. This is a shade Garnet Gems, and it has little red glitters, and they are just so beautiful. I'm really bummed that Milani doesn't sell nail polish anymore. I thought they did a good job. They had decent quality polishes, and I like their color selections. I also pulled another Kale polish. I believe this might be an untried polish of mine, and I've had it for a long time, but I don't remember ever wearing it. This is the shade Brick Sidewalk. And again, fall, right? Next, I have a whole bunch of kind of neutral shades. I have a julep polish. This is the shade Louisa May. I have no recollection of how this polish came into my life, but it looks like a nice fall coppery shade with a little bit of a pink shift in it. I have another Kale polish. I actually have 2 more Kale polishes. Nope, 3 more. I really like Kale polish. I don't know what's going on with Kathleen Lights, the Lights label. Is she doing the Lights polishes still? I don't even know. I haven't bought any of them. I stopped when the Kale Polish brand stopped making polishes. Oh my gosh, Ron, was that you again?
Yes.
Goodness.
Oh, I did.
Gross.
It'll rub it in your face.
This is the shade Prince Cornelius, and it's another untried. I've never used this before, and it looks so pretty. I need to get that on my nails. That's gorgeous. My next Kale polish I've definitely worn before, and I love it. It is the shade Cassiopeia. and it is like a blackened brown. And it is stunning. I love these shades for fall. And finally, we're not done with polishes, but finally for like my neutral polishes, I have one of my very first duochromes ever. I still remember purchasing this. I believe I was in college when I got this. This is a CoverGirl polish in the shade Chocolate Mint, and it is a blue brown. I mean, how much do we love blue browns and eyeshadows? And this is a blue brown nail polish. It is a chocolate brown nail polish with a flash of like a greeny aqua shade, and it is stunning. I have loved this polish for years and years and years, and I haven't worn it in a long time, and I would love to do a manicure with this polish this season. Okay, the last polishes, I know I pulled a lot of polishes. I went totally overboard. I was so inspired. I also recently ran across an Instagram video about something called pudding gels. I think they're called pudding gels. And I fell down the rabbit hole of finding out what pudding gels are, and I'm obsessed. And it's really definitely re-inspired me to focus on using up the nail polishes I have, because I would like to buy a pudding gel polish one day, but I cannot justify buying anything right now with the amount of polishes I currently have. Anyways, let's get back to green. I pulled a lot of green. I've been feeling, I mean, green is such a great color for fall, but I pulled 5. This is the most like green of the bunch. This is I think it's Sally Hansen. There's a sticker on top of it where the name is, but I believe this is Sally Hansen in the shade Irish Luck. I get it. Irish Luck. And it is just a grass green, like Crayola green color. I don't know if I've ever used this even once, maybe once for some nail art, but I've never done a full mani with this, and I think it would be a gorgeous fall polish. I also have one of my newest polishes. It is a multi-chrome from KB Shimmer. This is the shade Vested Interest, and it's got some purple, it's got some green, it's got some aqua, it's got some blue. It is gorgeous, and it's got a ton of glitter. And I think it is a beautiful, beautiful fall into winter polish. Some of these really need to be shaken up because they've settled and separated. This next one is an ugly pretty polish. It's another untried. It is a Butter London polish in the shade So Major. And it's just an army green shade that it needs to be shaken up even more, but I think you could kind of see it right there. Great for fall. Okay, this is my last Kale polish from my fall selections, and it is the shade Chloe, another untried. I've never used this even once. And yeah, I think that would be an amazing fall polish. I would like to use it. And the final polish that I pulled for this fall shop my stash is another one that I just bought this past Black Friday. This is from Adored Colors, and this is the shade Shorter Days, Longer Nights. And isn't that what fall is really all about? This is a blackened green with a lot of glitter. Yeah, I want to get this on my nails. It looks amazing. And the swatch pictures on the website for this polish looked amazing also. I've only tried a couple of her polishes so far. This is Judy's brand. Judy is a YouTuber and an Instagrammer who did nail swatches and nail art for years, and then she opened up her own line called Adored Colors. And I initially wanted to support her because she was a YouTuber and a friend. But now I support her because I am amazed by the quality of her polishes. I can get 5, 6, 7 days out of a manicure with her polishes, and I do dishes by hand, which says a lot. And these polishes really hold up. I messaged her after I did my last manicure with one of her polishes, and I was like, how do you do it? how do you get these polishes to last so long? And she's like, I just use good ingredients. And I was like, okay, all right, Judy, you're doing something right, because these polishes really last. And that's what I want. I'm not going to paint my nails every day. I would love to be that person that could paint their nails every day, but that is not where I'm at in life. I am maybe painting my nails on a Sunday night, and that's it. So I really would like a manicure to last Monday through Friday. If it falls apart on the weekend, that's fine. But I would really like my manicure to last through the work week, because I don't want to walk around with chipped nail polish. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked out this brand and you like nail polish, I would highly recommend it. She's got some really interesting combinations of like crayons and glitters and different shades. They're definitely not the kind of polishes you're going to find at your local drugstore. They're unique, and she often has a sale going on. Her polishes are very, very affordable, and I would highly recommend them. I will have Adored Colors linked down below, along with Shanrell's information, because oh my goodness, thank you so much for collaborating with me. I really appreciate it. I love doing these Shop My Stashes with another YouTuber. It makes it so much more interesting and fun. Don't forget to check out her channel, you guys. I will have it linked down below. But that is it for my fall Shop My Stash. It will be really interesting to see how many of these products I actually use throughout the fall months. You know, sometimes they go in the box and they just sit there for 3 months and I never get around to using them. Other times they end up in projects and I use them up. So you never know what's going to happen, but these seasonal Shop My Stashes have definitely helped me to kind of organize myself and my, you know, kind of narrow down my overall makeup collection into a smaller, more manageable amount as I'm pulling products for different projects. So that is everything, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.